Hey Survivor fans, this is Chad here. I'm going to recap your final episode of Survivor Philippines Season 25 and the reunion show. Lots to cover here, but before I go into that, it's like barely a week before Christmas, so I want to say to all of you that's watching this video review and to all the Survivor people, Survivor fans that happen to be watching my videos or video review, I want to wish you a Merry Christmas and Christmas blessings and all of that. Let me recap the final episode, episode 14. Basically, they recap the returning players returning, and they went into detail about each one of the three, kinda, and they kind of recap Jeff, Kent, and Lisa. And then, and not only that, they talked about the storm that hit for 21 days. I did not know. I didn't come to realize that the storm lasted that long. So to the castaways that endured that, give them mad props for that, because that must have been tough as hell. You know, I probably would too, but I don't know, man. That's pretty tough, man. Dealing with that rain and storm for 21 days, it's got to be extremely difficult, so mad props to them for that. They also talked about Malcolm and Denise for a bit, how they were the underdogs because they went from the losing tribe, which is Matt's scene, all the way to this point. So their story was pretty good up to this point, so we'll see what happens then. And they go into the chaos at the Ting Dang tribe with Pete stirring all kinds of chaos, and the whole Abby RC situation, which I'll go into detail a little bit at the reunion part of the recap, and I want to give my personal insight on who I thought the real villain was throughout this whole thing. Then they go on to the merge and the Final Four alliance, which was Malcolm, Denise, Lisa, and Scoopin. That came to be true at the end. And then now they go into the actual episode. They show the intro, but this time it was with the Final Four. Yeah, Final Four and the jury, which I thought was cool. They usually do that. I don't recall a time they never done that. If I'm wrong, just shoot me a message, say, hey, you're wrong, dude. I'm always good for a healthy debate. Which brings me to another point. Last week my video recap was a little crazy. I was a little bit pissed off because one of my favorites this season retweeted one of my tweets saying I was sorry to see you go and all this, and I had these two morons basically call me a dumbass and all kinds of kind of words, and I was kind of spewing off that, and I want to apologize to anyone I offended by that, because a little people seem to be off about that. They're like, well, you shouldn't let people get, I don't, but, I was just saying, these moronic people that, don't seem to realize that everybody's entitled to their own opinion, and, so that's what fans are. Everybody has their own opinion, and people should respect that. Not calling them a dumbass moron or an idiot like that. I was these two intelligent people seem to have called me. So, but yeah, like I said, I'm sorry if I offended anybody. Where was I? Oh yeah, that they come back from the tribal. The only thing I really disagreed with was the little stupid dance they done. I mean, I love Scuba, great guy, and the dance was a little, after my favorite was voted out. Then they do a scooping confessional. Tree Mail Rise, it's an unexpected challenge. We go to the reward challenge. It's a reward challenge. It wasn't an immunity challenge. It was basically a puzzle. The reward was an advantage in the final challenge. The challenge itself looked pretty fun. They had to climb a ropes. They had to slide. They had to go through this little bamboo maze. I thought, man, I'd love to do something like that. That looked like so much fun. They had to go over balance beam. Malcolm wins it. So they go back to the camp now, and Denise at this point is getting leery of Malcolm because he's, he's hesitant, and at this point Denise is turning on Malcolm, going to Lisa and Scoop and saying, hey, let's get rid of Malcolm. He's the biggest threat. He's got a bigger story than me. He's probably got most of the votes on the jury if he goes to the final three because he's likable, he's athletic, he's won most of the challenges. He's got the underdog story going as well, which I didn't disagree with that. So they get more and more tree mail. It's basically the Fallen Comrades, which I always loved. Fallen Comrades. Basically, what it is, if you haven't seen Fallen Comrades, it's basically they take this walk, and they have a torch at all the various points, and it's a torch for each castaway that was voted out prior to them. And it's such a nice tribute to everybody that's played the game up to that point. And, I wish they would do it for every season. They didn't do it for South Pacific, which I thought, but I didn't know why they did not do it for South Pacific. I was kind of pissed about that, but they did it for One World, and I hope they continue the trend for the next seasons and not leave that part out. We go into the final immunity challenge. Malcolm had the advantage, and the advantage is basically it's a balancing act. With a little ball, and you balance it on a stick, and they add segments to it. And Malcolm's advantage was if the ball falls off, he'll get a second shot, but it didn't matter. He got his second shot, and the ball fell right off, so he's out. He's in danger, and then Denise falls out. Then Lisa falls out of the challenge, and much to my delight, Scoopin wins final immunity, so he's safe. He's in the final three. So tribal, Malcolm gets voted out. Doesn't look too happy. Basically, back at tribe, the celebration meal, final three. Final tribal, I want to go down some of the jury that popped out of me. I got notes here. So, Artist was very bitter. He was basically saying Karma's going to kick him in the ass, and he's still bitter to this day. He's one of those people that I think that if you're not familiar with how Survivor works, it's been shot maybe probably a year prior to us seeing it because of editing and whatnot. He's still bitter about it, and like I'm going to say, be blessed that you were on Survivor, Carter was not bitter at all. He's a genuinely nice guy, and he congratulated him, and RC, oh my God. Oh, jeez. That fucking laugh that laugh got on my nerves so bad. That's got to be the most annoying laugh I ever heard. Cracked my nerves, basically. It's like, I wanted to put on the mute button right there. It's like, that laugh was just... Malcolm was pretty bitter towards Denise. He was saying, don't nod your head and stuff like that, and called her ascending. Jeff Kent's jury speech I thought was pretty good, as well as Abby's. But the best one of the night I thought belonged hands down to Penner. He basically told everybody about Lisa's little secret, that she was Blair from the Facts of Life. Didn't seem to me Lisa took it too well, but I don't know. But it was a very good jury. Most of them were bitter. But you can expect bitter juries most of the time. They can't be happy, lively juries like One World. To me, bitter juries, make the best. The only problem I have is with their bitter a year after the fact, and that they're still bitter over a game. which I'll get into that. The reunion show followed right after. A very sweet thing they did, though, before they read the votes, was they gave a moment of silence for the tragedy in Newtown, Connecticut. And I'm going to say a minute. I'm going to devote a minute here. I thought it was very tragic. And my prayers are with the families and the people affected by that. But I think America in its own was affected, and it was just horrible. And I'm glad CBS took the minute, or Jeff took the moment and did a moment of silence. I thought that was a very, very sweet thing to do, and mass respect for them on that part. Denise wins Sole Survivor. I was hoping Scoopid would win it, but at the same time, I respect Denise. The only time I disagreed with her was on that tribal where she treated Abby the way she did. But all in all, I think Denise was also deserving. I mean, she made history by attending every single tribal that season and surviving. So, I really wanted Scoopid to win, but, I thought Denise deserved it too. Also, something cool about the reunion show, Jeff talked to all the castaways. Every season he does not do this. He singles out them, but he managed to talk to every single one of them and gave them a few words about their experience, and I thought that was very cool. A few memorable ones. Pete, they bring up the Abby RC thing, and RC brings out what Pete did, and Pete's like, ooh, somebody's still bitter. And I'm going to say something. RC basically needs to get over it. If you watched her exit interviews, they're very unclassy. Bashing Abby on Facebook groups, it's just really hard to watch. And being a member of many of these Facebook groups, I just shake my head, and I read the exit interviews where she compares Survivor to the Holocaust. It's just very unclassy. And this brings up to my point of who I thought the real villain in this whole thing. It was RC. I mean, just the way she's acting now. I mean, Abby was just playing a game, and she was trying to say, hey, sorry to RC, and RC's just being a little immature child. So, Another one that popped out was Dawson actually ran downstage and kissed Jeff Probst on the lips. I did not know what to think of that. I was just thinking, wow, very unexpected. It was just one of those things I don't have an opinion on. Let's see what else. But it was great to hear from all the castaways, even the very first boots. Zane did not seem to be bitter. He just seemed to be happy to be there. And I think every season on, that Jeff at the reunion show should talk to every castaway. They were a part of it too. So, thank you, CBS, for letting all the castaways talk and, give their opinion and their experience, which I thought was very cool. And another disappointment for me was Lisa won fan fave. The other two I voted for they didn't win. So that's that. They showed a preview of season 26, which looks very exciting. It's another fans versus favorites. It's pretty well known who the returnees are, but to save spoiler, I'm not going to say. I will say this: one of my favorite female players is returning, along with another Survivor cutie, blonde, and a guy I respect for his strategy, and he is a great far-out character. So that's that. So Survivor 26. Fans versus favorites, Survivor Camoan. I do want to thank CBS. They premiered it. It's February 13th. It's going to premiere, and it's 2 days before my birthday. So thank you, CBS, for the awesome early birthday present. So that's all I have. Final note: great season. Thank you, castaways. few of them, Abby, Scoopin, Penner, and Carter, Dawson. They just been awesome to the fans of this season, and I think that's what matters most. So, thank you guys. You guys have been awesome this season. Thanks for delivering a great season. That's all I have. Hopefully, I'll join you guys in the ranks of being on Survivor. So, I still got that dream. I'm still waiting for that call. So, all right, that's my review, and I'll see you guys mid-February. Peace, love, chicken grease. Bye.